Reed Richards always believed his mind could take humanity to the stars, but his first step nearly killed them all. Brilliant, arrogant, and determined, Reed built an experimental rocket to beat the space race. When his crew, Sue, Johnny, and Ben launched with him, they were struck by cosmic rays. Reed's body stretched like rubber, every cell rewoven to bend and twist without limit. At first, he struggled with control. His arms snapped across rooms, his legs tangled, his body reshaped into grotesque forms. But Reed saw opportunity where others saw horror. He became Mr. Fantastic, leading the Fantastic Four into battle with science and sheer flexibility. The twist? Reed's greatest strength has always been his mind, but his curse is believing he can solve every problem, even the ones no human should try. Subscribe if you didn't know, Mr. Fantastic's story began this way. Before they were Marvel's first family, they needed a ride. Reed Richards didn't just give the Fantastic Four their powers, he gave them the Fantasti-Car, part rocket, part hovercraft, part flying tank. It was the team's first official vehicle. At first glance, it looked ridiculous. A clunky flying bathtub divided into 4 detachable pods. But that design was genius. Each member could split off mid-flight, striking from different angles in battle. Sue could shield her pod, Johnny could burn through the sky, Ben could crash headfirst into danger, and Reed could stretch across the controls to pilot them all at once. The Fantasti-Car was more than transportation, it was their first step into becoming a true team. The twist? Over the years it's been rebuilt again and again, but that original flying bathtub is still one of the most iconic Marvel vehicles ever. Subscribe if you didn't know, the Fantastic Four's car was this legendary. He wasn't born in a lab accident or blasted by cosmic rays. He was built. H.E.R.B.I.E, short for Humanoid Experimental Robot, B-Type, Integrated Electronics, was created by Reed Richards alongside master robotics expert Dr. Richards' ally. In the comics and the cartoon, H.E.R.B.I.E stepped in when the Human Torch was missing from the animated Fantastic Four lineup. Unlike the rest of the team, H.E.R.B.I.E didn't smash through walls or melt steel. His power was his brain. He could interface with tech, hack alien systems, and support the Fantastic Four with logic that sometimes outsmarted Reed himself. But being a robot on a team of humans wasn't easy. H.E.R.B.I.E was often dismissed as comic relief until he proved his worth in battle. The twist? In some stories, H.E.R.B.I.E became more than just a helper. He developed a true personality and even sacrificed himself to save the team. Subscribe if you didn't know the Fantastic Four once had a robot teammate. Johnny Storm was just a reckless teenager until the stars lit a fire inside him. When Reed Richards launched his cosmic rocket, Johnny insisted on coming along. The cosmic rays didn't just give him powers, they set him ablaze. His entire body ignited in living fire, but instead of burning, he soared. At first, he treated it like a game. He called himself the Human Torch, showing off, racing through the skies, melting steel just to prove he could. But the flames came with danger. Johnny's temper flared as hot as his body, and his powers sometimes raged out of control. Still, when the Fantastic Four faced their first enemies, it was Johnny's fire that turned the tide. He wasn't just the kid brother of the team, he was the spark that kept them fighting. The twist? Beneath the cocky grin, Johnny Storm has always carried a fear that one day, his flames won't turn off. Subscribe if you didn't know how the Human Torch's story began. Ben Grimm wasn't supposed to become a monster, he was supposed to be the pilot. When Reed Richards built his experimental rocket, Ben was the one who had the guts to fly it. But when cosmic rays ripped through the ship, his body changed forever. While Reed stretched, Johnny burned, and Sue vanished. Ben's skin turned into living rock. His strength skyrocketed, but his humanity slipped away. They called him the Thing. At first, he hated it, the rough voice, the rocky skin, the way people stared. But when the Fantastic Four faced their first battles, Ben discovered something shocking. His new form made him the team shield, the one who could take the hits nobody else could survive. The twist? Behind the gruff jokes and "it's clobberin' time" catchphrase. Ben Grimm is Marvel's most tragic hero, a man who lost his old life to protect a new world. Subscribe if you didn't know, the Thing's story started this way. The Fantastic Four's first real enemy wasn't an alien warlord or a cosmic god. It was a man who lived underground. Harvey Rupert Elder was a brilliant scientist, but mocked for his short stature and poor eyesight. Rejected by the surface world, he vanished, only to reappear as the Mole Man. Beneath the earth, he discovered Subterranea, a kingdom of monsters and hidden technology. When the Fantastic Four debuted, their first challenge wasn't just proving themselves as heroes, it was stopping Mole Man from unleashing his armies of moloids and creatures from below. At first, he seemed ridiculous, a bitter man with a silly name. But his monsters toppled skyscrapers, his drills threatened cities, and he reminded the world that danger didn't just come from the stars, it could crawl up from beneath your feet. The twist? Mole Man never really lost. He kept coming back, proving that even the smallest man could shake the world. Subscribe if you didn't know the Fantastic Four's first villain started here. Not every Fantastic Four villain came with cosmic powers. Some came armed with nothing but genius. The Mad Thinker was one of their earliest enemies, a criminal mastermind who believed raw intellect could crush even the most powerful heroes. His obsession was prediction. He studied patterns, numbers, probability, until he could calculate exactly what his enemies would do before they did it. Armed with androids, death traps, and strategies timed down to the second, the Mad Thinker nearly defeated the Fantastic Four more than once. But his flaw was as human as it gets. He could predict logic, but not emotion. He could never calculate Sue's courage, Johnny's temper, Ben's heart, or Reed's desperation. The twist? Even when he lost, the Mad Thinker left the world with terrifying inventions, proving that sometimes the most dangerous power isn't cosmic. It's a mind that refuses to stop thinking. Subscribe if you didn't know the Fantastic Four fought the Mad Thinker this early. Before she was the heart of the Fantastic Four, Susan Storm was just a young woman caught in the blast of a cosmic storm. She wasn't a soldier or a genius like Reed Richards, but when those cosmic rays struck, Sue discovered something terrifying. Her body could vanish from sight. At first, it felt like a curse, fading out of existence without control, but then came the second power, a force field that could stop bullets, rockets, even gods. In the team's first steps as the Fantastic Four, Sue was often overlooked, called the Invisible Girl. But behind the scenes, she was the one holding them together, literally shielding her family from a world that didn't understand them. The twist? What started as invisibility became one of the deadliest powers in Marvel, because with enough focus, Sue's force fields could crush steel, or even a man's lungs. Subscribe if you didn't know. Invisible Woman was this powerful from the very beginning.